Kim and Liza, welcome to People and Legal.
Hello. Hi. Good to be here.
It's awesome to be at the Women in AI Summit today.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it's such a great idea that that Kat Moon originally had, and then for Terry and the Centre for Legal Innovation to pick that up and bring all these fantastic women together.
Brilliant. I mean, some great minds and great thoughts in the room and great vibe as well. Would you like to introduce yourselves to our audience?
Yes, sure. My name's Kim Trajer. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at McCullough Robertson. We're a 60-partner law firm headquartered in Brisbane with an office in Sydney with over 100 people. So, I've been in law for 30-something years and started as a tax lawyer and then moved into innovation and change and driving strategy, and now obviously AI.
Thank you. I'm Liza Greenwood. I am the Head of Innovation Services at Allens. We're about 1,700 people in our law firm. I've also been in the legal industry most of my life, started in IT and went through systems engineering, change management, project management, like innovation, now dabbling in strategy. And really excited to be at a tech conference where it's the women's toilets that are full and you have to line up for going up in the tech industry. It was always the men's toilets that you couldn't get into, which wasn't a problem for me.
Awesome. And you've just come off a panel discussion, which was really interesting around mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. So we looked at where there are barriers to the adoption of AI and why that is. We had Professor Selena Bartlett from QUT in Brisbane join us, and she has done a whole lot of research over many, many years about the brain and mindset and how we can change mindset. And I think understanding where some of the fear comes from and how the way that we think about things and are informed by the way our thoughts and beliefs and what we've experienced as we've in our lives and through other generations inform how we approach things now. And so the importance, I think, of people and understanding people and leadership in that space so that we can sort of get the best out of our teams and ensure that people that we're working with are not sort of in a fearful flight or fright sort of state, but that we're understanding people and then they can come on the journey with us.
Brilliant. Are people afraid of AI?
People are afraid of change. So if AI means that their jobs will change, their day-to-day changes, their status or their autonomy or their, decision-making power is going to be threatened, then there's a fear response to change. And I think what hasn't helped is in the last 2-3 years since the emergence of generative AI, now suddenly everybody knows and everybody cares about AI. It's been around for 20 years and we've been using it well for 20 years, but now it is in the news, in the media, leaders are talking about it, presidents are regulating it. It is just so front and center for people. And so the increased socialization, the increased awareness, I would say has created increased fear.
Excellent point. How do you actually overcome that sort of fear mindset? How do you work with people to change that mindset from being from change, I guess, fear of change?
One thing we talked about on the panel, which I think is a really powerful lever, is creating psychological safety within your teams and within your organizations. And I guess not just paying lip service to psych safety, but actually putting tangible things in place that allow people to, discuss their failures without fear of being reprimanded, come up with ideas without necessarily having them shot down, as soon as they're aired, being able to put things out and have people challenge respectfully. So we talked about a bunch of ways you can put that in practice, but that is one way to help people overcome change if they just feel that they can bring their fears and be a bit more vulnerable and exposed about them and they're not going to get in trouble for that, then that is a way to overcome that fear.
And from a practicality point of view, and I guess just going down probably one level of detail, how would you implement that into the existing workplace? What kind of things would you do to make that happen?
I'll share one of the things that I shared on the panel.
Please,
get to hear much from you on the panel.
Love to,
So one way that we've done that is by creating what I call safe spaces, which sounds, theoretical, but they need to be really practical. people won't always feel comfortable using a new tool or a new way of working in real life or in on client work. It's just a bit too risky. So we create forums like the Generative AI Community of Practice, where people can come and share what they've been trying, what they've been experimenting with, and then others can go away and try the same thing. And they also share what's not working, what's a bit of a fail. Like sometimes they demo something that doesn't work. Equally, it's important to create that in a digital environment too. So things like sandboxes with dumb data. So you're just lowering the risk. You're creating a space where people have less fear of failure and there's less risk genuinely. And then they feel more comfortable once that's done to apply what they've learned and what they're doing in real life.
Yeah, no, brilliant tip. Is there anywhere in the practice this sort of fear of change that's more prevalent? Is change easier accepting for people who are like newbies and graduates that have actually more used to technology, and it's easier to do it there than other folks that are actually like further on in their careers?
Yeah, we talked about this a bit. I think it's interesting and probably a little bit like is there a difference between men and women? It's about the individuals, and there are a lot of tech natives, the younger people that are coming through, so they're less resistant or scared or more willing to try because they're already using it in just the way that they operate their own social lives or, interact with their friends and that sort of thing. But I think then there are a lot of senior people and practitioners who have a lot to bring. There's some of them that are quite really interested in this, and I guess they can see the history of how technology has impacted the business and they have all that experience. So we were laughing about the fact that some of the younger people, like my children, will anything online, anything on TikTok is gospel and true. I guess that translates to anything that ChatGPT says, even a hallucination, is true. Whereas the person with more experience can sort of think, oh, that doesn't look quite right. And, we need to dive into, whether it is right and how it needs to be changed. So I think like lots of things, there is a benefit for both sides to sort of be in the room and in the conversation, and then for solutions to come from, all of those different diverse perspectives.
Brilliant. Is there a place for law firms educating their clients around AI and the benefits and dangers and those kinds of things?
Absolutely. Because in the absence of information, I think teams and people can jump to wrong conclusions. So we have and are doing quite a bit of education with clients around the risks, the benefits, the capability. So understanding what specifically generative AI can do and can't do. But then importantly, all of the security measures and governance and really robust hoops that we put technology through in order to onboard it and be comfortable with it for our own use. So we actually find that clients are able to get a better understanding of what we do, what we put in place, so that they can also put it in place in their organisation. And in fact, sometimes it's not even the in-house legal team that we're sitting down and talking to; it's the IT security team, and that we're sharing our experience with.
Interesting. I mean, I guess wrapping up, if there was one thing that people could walk away from the summit today and take away and put into their workplace, I guess what would it be?
For me, I think it's just lean in. It sounds like a cliche, but being curious, being the type of person that gets anything new, right clicks, tries to break it, tries to understand it, ask dumb questions of technical people, be the person to ask the dumb question and get your head around as much as you can, because that will position you and your team, your colleagues for the future, really.
And I would say leverage this community. There's an amazing group of people in that room, and everybody is so generous in sharing what they're doing and really willing to, to help if people have got questions or to engage on multiple fronts. So, it's there for the offering. Just take advantage of it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for actually being part of our episode today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Brilliant.